It's time for the Potawatomi Fire Coaches Corner. Featuring two-time TBL Coach of the Year, Fire Head Coach Mark Danoff. With special guest, Fire Center Charles Lampton. And now here's the host of the Coaches Corner, Chris Cox.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another edition of the Coaches Corner here on the Potawatomi Fire Broadcast Network. I'm Chris Cox. I'm joined by Fire Head Coach Mark Danoff. Later on in today's show, I'll be joined by Fire rookie big man Charles Lampton. But Coach, diving right on in, first time this season that y'all had to play 2 games in 3 nights. You played at home on Friday against Enid, hit the road, took on Altus Sunday evening, or took on Western Oklahoma in Altus, I should say, on Sunday evening. Last week we were talking about how you wanted the guys to make sure they really took care of their bodies, especially with this being the first time playing 2 games in 3 nights. How do you think they handled it?
No, I thought they were terrific. You know, we're very fortunate. We've got a great group of young men who know how to prepare themselves for a double game in a weekend. You know, we approach it like a playoff situation where we're going to have to either go on the road at one time, one or the other, and then play 2 games in 3 days. So I thought the guys did a really good job.
And having a veteran group like you have, it doesn't take a lot from you to tell them what to do, and also they're able to easily kind of pass it on to maybe some of the newer guys who haven't had to play a schedule like this before.
Yeah, we've got a really good group that have been around for a while, very experienced. They share their wisdom with the young guys, the rookies. And, you know, I don't have to say much. They've been around long enough. They know when their body's going to hurt a little bit. They know what the expectations are on their bodies as we approach it. So they do a really good job of preparing themselves and preparing each other.
Looking at Friday's win against Enid, you know, I think we both believe that Enid is a talented team and probably a little bit better than what we saw last Friday against you guys. But y'all were able to jump out to an early lead and you never really looked back, getting a big 150-94 win. What all went right for you guys in that game? Yeah,
first and foremost, Enid's a very talented team. They're a good team. They're playing extremely well coming in that night, well coached. We just came in very focused, high energy, locked into the things that we needed to do on the defensive end, which created offense for us on the other end. Just really a great 48 minutes of sticking to what our training was, sticking to the process and doing what we do at a high level.
Yeah, after that game, you said you thought it was maybe one of the most, if not the most complete game that y'all have played since you've been here. Why did you think that?
It just felt like there weren't a whole lot of lapses. You know, sometimes we'll come out and play really well, and it's almost, you hate to say you don't get bored with success, but you tend to stray from what it is you're trying to do and the things that we do, and then we get back on track. Or we'll have a slow start, and then we'll have to play from there. But right from the jump, our guys were locked in. They came out really ready to go, focused on what the game plan was, executed at a high level on both ends, and we were able to have success. And then they stuck with it for the entire 48 minutes. So that's why I kind of felt it was probably one of our better complete games for 48 minutes.
Your point guard, Chuck Guy, in that game had another outstanding performance, 30 points, 16 assists, 5 rebounds. He really led the way for your Fire, as he does most nights.
Yeah, and he brings the energy. His communication on both ends gets everybody else talking, gets everybody moving, and he's such a really good leader on and off the court, and he keeps guys focused and locked in on the things that we need to do, and he's been extraordinary these first 4 games, just making sure guys are knowing what to do and getting to where they need to get to and do the things they're supposed to do. So he's really off to a really good start again this season, as is 2 or 3 other guys who've been given a lot of leadership. Paul Harrison, Ricky Ortiz. Basically all our vets at some point are stepping up and sharing and providing wisdom and their experience to some of the younger guys.
Yeah, and you overall in that game had 8 guys finish in double figures. So while Chuck had a great game, he clearly didn't have to do it all on his own.
Well, and that's the great thing about the offense right now is the number of people who are getting the opportunity to show what they're capable of doing and us sharing the ball. I think we had 33 assists that night, where we're back up to where we normally are in terms of assists per game. I thought we were a little low to start with. For various reasons, but now we're sharing the ball at the level that we're normally used to and the way we always have in the past, and that's carried over and it really has helped the offense, and it's just such a great unselfish team. Sometimes we're too unselfish.
On the defensive side of things, 9 more blocks, 11 more steals for your Fire in that win over Enid. We'll talk a little bit more about the defense when we touch on the Wichita or the Western Oklahoma game. But I mean, really, this season for the Fire, it's been a defensive clinic.
Yeah, I'm really pleased. The fact that we talked about it right from the start, about being better and trying to be the best we can, and understand we weren't going to get there in 1 game, 2 game, 3 games, that it was going to be something that we wanted to be at our best, come May, in June when the playoffs come around. But guys have really been locked in, really trying to help each other and get used to our rotations. I know the veterans are a step ahead of everybody else, but they work so well together. And like I tell them, if you communicate, we can fix it in the moment.
Right.
And that's what we've been doing really well if we do have issues. But this last weekend, we were just extraordinary on the defensive end.
Yeah, moving on to that second game of the weekend, the Sunday win over the Western Oklahoma Sky Kings. It was a record-setting win for your Fire. 146-75, 71-point win was the largest margin of victory in Fire history. It's also, at least from what I could find, the 4th largest in TBL history. You said the Enid win was a complete win. How was the Western Oklahoma also a complete win as well?
Yeah, I think it was. I think we may have had a short minute or 2 there where we got caught up with everything, but it was real short, very brief, and everybody got re-locked in and played. And I love the fact that we just, as we rotate our guys and we put different combinations out there on the floor, just to see, how they play together and things like that, and if they can communicate and execute. And they did just that, but we didn't have any fall off, which we don't expect. But just because there were some lineups on the floor that we usually don't play together. But really a terrific job again for 48 minutes. And I told the guys today in practice that they're really fun to coach. They're really locked in on what their goals are, but it's just fun watching them enjoy each other's success and have fun playing the game.
Yeah, it really seems like that this team, like you were saying, does have a lot of fun playing together, and that they're able to kind of motivate each other. You don't have to do a lot of that motivating yourself, at least early on.
No, not at all. They seem to be extremely locked in. They're focused on what the task at hand is. They take everything step by step, and right now things are going well for us. I know we'll meet adversity at some point, but I know that this group is so close and so locked in that they'll be able to meet that adversity head on together, and we'll see what the outcome is.
In that game against Western Oklahoma, you were up by 24 after the first quarter, up by 48 at halftime. What do you tell your guys at halftime when they're up so big to make sure that they don't, relax and take their foot off the gas?
Well, as always, it's about us.
Okay.
And we tell them it's 0-0, and we don't play to the score. We play to compete against ourselves, playing the game the right way at a high level. So while we're out there, we're not straying from our training and what it is that we do on both ends of the floor. We want to continue to get better at it as we end up in a close game later on, that we're prepared and able to still continue to execute and get better at whatever it is, our rotations, the execution of an action or an offense, baseline, sideline, whatever it may be. It's about us getting better in the moment each time.
Beyond just the win, one thing that comes out of a game like that is you're able to play your reserves, and like you said, different lineups that maybe not get on the floor a ton together. Your reserves scored 80 points, and I'm sure that was something you were very happy to see.
Yeah, we're very blessed. We've got several guys that come off the bench that are starters in this league. And that's kind of been who we've been for the last several years. We've got guys who are starters that choose not to go somewhere and be the star or to be somebody's leading scorer, and willing to come here, sacrifice, whether that's starting, whether it's personal accolades, honors, for the betterment of the team. And whatever that may be, they're willing to give up personal stuff for that one common goal, and the best goal and the best achievement in winning a championship and having a chance to win it. We still got a lot of work to do.
Right.
And the great thing is we're 4 games in, and you can still see where we can get better, and they see it too.
One thing too with those reserves and how well they played, I think one thing that was really impressive is that everybody who came in off the bench for you was also giving not just max effort on offense, because that's where most of the stats come, but they're also showing a lot on defense, and they're wanting to make sure that they keep Western Oklahoma and kept Western Oklahoma down just like the starters did.
Well, and that's the expectation that anyone who comes in the game, you have to play defense. That'll be the first thing that gets you off the floor and back on the bench. Is if you don't get back in transition, if you don't contain the basketball, if you don't execute your assignments on that defensive end at a high level. So that's how they know they get in, and that's how they earn more playing time. The offensive stuff will come. Our defense creates offense, and we'll execute our stuff from there. But they know that defense is what gets them on the floor, and defense is what keeps them there.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a break. And when Coach Danoff and I come back, we'll talk about this weekend's slate of games against the Little Rock Lightning and the San Antonio Clutch. This is the Coach's Corner here on the Potawatomi Fire Broadcast Network.
Songwriting is like something you're constantly growing at, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so is being a father. You know, the back and forth of being a husband, the back and forth of being a father, the good stuff and the bad stuff, the learning stuff, you know, that all translates eventually into something because I'm constantly growing, you know what I mean? Constantly building.
Yeah, just trying to chip a nickel off the company dime. And I swear that
Welcome back to the Coach's Corner here on the Potawatomi Fire Broadcast Network. I'm Chris Cox. I'm joined by two-time TBL Coach of the Year, Mark Danoff. Coach, this weekend, 2 more games, except this time the schedule's flip-flopped. You go on the road first Friday night to take on the Little Rock Lightning before coming home Saturday evening or Sunday evening, I should say, to take on the San Antonio Clutch. It'll be another good back-to-back or 2 games in 3 nights test, I think, for your Fire.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be the same approach. It's a business trip, certainly on Friday, and it's a playoff, scenario for us. And this time, if you do have the home court advantage, you got to go on the road first and then come back home. So it's another opportunity to experience that and treat it like that and prepare like that. But it's against 2 very good teams.
Looking at the Little Rock game, this is a Little Rock team that's playing very well. Since you guys last played them, they've won 3 straight games, including winning back-to-back nights in San Antonio last weekend. Little Rock playing some very good basketball.
Yeah, they've been very impressive, and I'm really happy for Sean and the organization. They're really finding themselves, and every year they just continue to grow and get better and better. But I was really impressed with them going on the road and stealing 2 wins on the road this weekend. Their guys played extremely well, played with a lot of energy, defended, rebound, and they did a really nice job on offense and made some big plays down the stretch in 2 very close games.
Since you guys last played, they have added a couple of guys to their roster. Hunter Mickelson and Terrius Ryan have joined the team, and those 2 guys have really given the Lightning a boost, especially on the offensive end. Yeah,
they've really stepped right in and had an impact immediately. I know Ryan is averaging like 31 points a game, about 5.5 assists and 7 rebounds. He's kind of ignited them a little bit on the perimeter. And then Mickelson, who we already knew was a very good player. We didn't see him the first time either. Can really mid-range, turnaround jump shots in the post and basket area. Just really skilled post player who's versatile and can do several different things that can hurt an opponent. So those are 2 guys we haven't seen yet. But I think the biggest impact they've had is that what they've brought to the table has ignited everybody else, and they're playing with an entirely different attitude and chip on their shoulder and very high energy, and everyone's confidence has just risen.
Beyond Mickelson and Ryan, what else? I mean, you were just talking about the confidence of everybody around those 2, but what else have you seen from Little Rock on offense, since that's really seemed to be kind of where they've picked things up? Yeah, I mean, we knew Cassell could already score the ball and shoot a little bit, and the Clifton has really come on and has had an impact for them. But then, you have people like Purcell Washington, who have always been an impact player for them, and the young man Hawkins, who can score at 3 different levels as well. And then the Helzer kid comes in and can shoot the 3 for him. So, and we can't forget about Steen, because Steen at one time was their leading scorer a year ago, and he can score in multiple ways. So they've got a lot of talent, and they're really playing well together. And just the ability to go on road and win games and build your confidence and be excited about what's next in line for the Lightning. What have you seen from Little Rock on the defensive side of things?
Well, the energy has just really picked up. Their ball pressure has increased. They're out denying some things that maybe they hadn't done before, but they also have some rim protectors in Hall and Mickelson down there. and they have the ability to guard down in the post. But it really, I think, is the confidence and the energy that they're playing with that has really propelled them defensively to be playing at a high level.
Yeah, you mentioned that confidence, and I got to think that when they went to San Antonio last weekend and got 2 close wins, that really had to boost that confidence even more. And it's going to give you guys, I think, a pretty decent test on Friday.
Yeah, any win on the road is a great win, whether it's 1 or 100. You know, they say you got to win by 10 to win by 1. So, but I thought both teams really competed last weekend, both San Antonio and Little Rock. They both had chances to win those games, and just turned out Little Rock ended up on the better side, I guess, in those 2 games. But San Antonio was very good as well, and had to come from behind in those games, but and showed that they'll never quit and continue to compete for 48 minutes, in their case 53 minutes. Yeah, I mean, once you finally experience winning and you know, get a feel for what that's like and learn how to win, and that's always a big key, learning how to win, especially in close games. You know, it just propels you forward, and you know, your confidence, and get that chip on your shoulder, and allows you to continue that success down the road.
Looking at San Antonio now, they come in, they're 0-4 on the season, but 3 of their 4 losses, all 3 in a row, have been by 6 points or less. So they've been in every game, and they've had opportunities to win, especially those last 3 games. Yeah,
I mean, 6 points and 2 of them in overtime. And they were right there in each of them. I know they cut it to 2 against Enid real late, and then they were right there and came back and tied up, even took the lead at times, whether it be in overtime or down the stretch against Little Rock, and just didn't manage to pull it out. Little Rock made some plays, but they're a very talented team, good team. They haven't played as many games. They're catching up now to play 4, but when they played Enid, they hadn't played yet.
Right.
So they're still trying to figure things out, and now they're 4 games in, and you can see the improvement watching them play. They're also well coached and a good group that just continues to compete for 48 minutes, and their opportunities are going to certainly come their way. So we've got 2 very tough games this weekend.
Yeah, you mentioned how Little Rock has had to kind of learn how to win, and it seems like they've kind of done that the past few games. San Antonio kind of seems to be in that position now where they have gotten close. They just need to kind of figure out how to get over that hump.
Yeah, and they're a first-year team, and sometimes that takes time, and it's the first time those guys have played together and figure some things out.
San Antonio, they're led by a name that actually might ring a bell with a lot of Fire fans, Dion Lyle, who was part of the Fire organization the inaugural season in 2022. He's leading the way for San Antonio. Over 26 points, 10 rebounds a game for the clutch. He's been playing really good basketball in his hometown.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's nice he can do it at home in front of all his friends and family. I mean, he's shooting the ball extremely well from 3, but he's doing other things. He's posted up a little bit and scoring down there. He's getting to the rim. We all know he has a good pull-up mid-range game, and he's defending. And I can see it. I'm not there at practice, and Coach knows his team, but I could see him trying to lead as well, because he's probably got more experience than some of those guys on that team. So he's doing a really nice job.
Yeah, and it seems too that, and you were talking about him posting up, it seems like he's added a little bit of muscle to allow him to do that, because he's tall, he's 6'8", so he's adds a little bit of that size, and he becomes a pretty hard matchup.
Yeah, especially for a guard.
Yeah.
You know, when you're 6'6", 6'8", somewhere in there, I don't know exactly, and you put on that muscle and that strength, and you're able to take smaller guards down low, or take them to the paint where you can rise up and get up and shoot over them, and then continue to do what he's always been able to do, and that was shoot 3. So he's really advanced his game. He's developed in some areas that maybe were deficiencies in the past but are no longer, but really proud of him and excited for him and the season he's having.
Beyond Dion, what else have you seen from San Antonio on the offensive end?
Well, they run a lot of really good stuff, whether it be horns action, 1-4-5 high actions, where they're getting a lot of screening, getting a lot of ball screens, handoffs, trying to get to the paint, pressure the rim, just get the ball inside. Shaw has really been playing well for them down low. He's kind of an undersized player to be down in there, but he certainly uses his quickness. He plays quick. He's never in a hurry. He shows poise down there, and he's finishing around the rim.
And what have you seen from San Antonio on the defensive side of things?
Well, they've been mainly man-to-man to this
Okay.
point. They're in the gaps. They're playing really good help defense. They're getting the shooters, and they're playing hard. You know, and they got to continue to keep teams off the glass, which I'm sure there is a point of emphasis for them. I think they're a little undersized at times in their
Okay.
lineups, but they're working hard. They're playing hard. They're talented, and they're going to start winning.
And finally, Coach, it seems like both of these teams this weekend could have some matchups that might give you guys some fits at times with the size that Little Rock has, especially with Mickelson being there now. And then obviously we're talking about Dion being such a big guard with San Antonio. But what's it going to take for y'all to get 2 wins and stay perfect on the year?
Well, we just have to do what we do and be who we are.
Okay.
You know, continue to trust their training, trust in whatever the defense and offensive schemes are on that particular night. Stay in that moment and have fun doing what we do.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you this weekend in Little Rock, and then back here against San Antonio.
Sounds good.
I'm going to take another break. When I come back, I'll be joined by Fire rookie big man Charles Lampton. This is the Coach's Corner here on the Potawatomi Fire Broadcast Network.
Are you ready to elevate your business with a new technology partner? Vive provides lightning-fast fiber internet up to 10 gigs, along with powerful technology solutions that enhance your security, productivity, and efficiency. Our dedicated team of business consultants will identify your business needs and recommend solutions to address your challenges. Don't wait. Claim your free technology evaluation today. Visit business.vivebroadband.com and discover why Vive is the premier choice for your business success.
Welcome back to the Coach's Corner here on the Potawatomi Fire Broadcast Network. I'm Chris Cox. I'm now joined by Fire rookie big man Charles Lampton. And Charles, thanks for sitting down with me today.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Charles, this is your first year of playing pro basketball.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest adjustment for you jumping up to this level?
I think definitely like the shot clock. Shot clock is definitely like a big thing compared to college or high school and stuff like that. The pace of the game is very much demanding. And I think that's definitely like been a big adjustment. But I think Coach got us ready, you know, with conditioning and stuff like that during training camp. So yeah, that's definitely been the biggest thing. And also like the rule changing, goaltending change. That's been pretty fun for me. Like a bunch of other things that that the EuroLeague has, and obviously NBA has that they have in this TBL league. So it's been pretty good, interesting too.
I always hear also, you talked about the pace, but the physicality of the game is a lot more, is at least what I've heard from players.
Absolutely. To be honest, like we pretty much have like one of the best big in the whole league. No, probably. I think Paul is definitely the best big in the whole league, and I think competing with him in practice, that's probably like the biggest challenge I've had. And when it comes to game time, I'm like, oh, should I get to guard Paul every single day? So like it kind of like balances out, and something like I feel myself a little more relaxed. And okay, if I'm able, to, not guard Paul every single time, but at least make it look competitive for him. I'm definitely able to handle, everyone else in the TBL when game starts. So it's definitely a physical thing, but I think our team has been very much physical during practice.
Yeah, I know that Coach on that very first day that y'all got here, he told you and Boya Koko's another big rookie big to listen to Paul, lean on Paul, and learn from him. What have you learned from Paul, and then also from some of the other vets like Chuck and Ricky and Munson?
Definitely learned a lot from all of them. I think to start with Paul, he's a funny dude. He always say he's not a shooter, but he just scores the ball. So that's pretty interesting about him. But all of them, I think the willingness to just trust in, every single one on the team. Paul, Munson, I get to play with all of those guys during the game, practice and stuff like that, and they just give you the courage, go out there and play freely and without the fear of even making a mistake or bad shots. Same thing with Coach. I think that's one thing I've definitely enjoyed in my professional career so far, compared to college and high school. Those are always like the moments where sometimes you get a little tense, but here it's very much play free minded, and I've definitely enjoyed that. Chuck and Munson, all those guys have definitely helped a lot with that.
Yeah, it definitely seems like when you get in the game, you're going to go and you're going to give 100% every single time. And if you do something wrong, Chuck or Coach, somebody will correct you, and then you'll make those adjustments. But you're going to go out there and you're going to play as hard as you can every time you're on the floor.
Absolutely. I think for me, what has got me throughout my whole basketball career, high school, college, I've always been has always been my motto to like, play hard every single time when I step on the floor, because you never know like when it's gonna be your last basketball game and stuff like that. So definitely like play, with that motto every single time, and knowing that everything else is gonna figure out itself, scoring and all those things. And yeah, it's been very much amazing to see that.
You seem to have found a nice role on this team, coming off the bench as one of the reserves, and really giving teams a different look with your height and your length. How do you feel like you've been playing so far early this season?
I'm very much self-critical about how I play every single day, always looking to improve, but also knowing that obviously be part of a team such as the Fire, that I don't need to do too much, and that really helps me just like, okay, go out there and play your game. Like I said previously, like the team, all the veterans like really push me to like, when I get the ball in some scoring position, go ahead and take the shot, because like that's when you get better and stuff like that. So I think my role in the team has already been pretty much defined, and I think coach obviously like give me even more comfortability to like go out and experiment what things I need to do or improve in basketball. So but yeah, definitely on the defensive side, that's something like I really pride myself in and just like defending at a high level, and make the life of my guards pretty much easy, knowing that they have like a backline defense and stuff like that. I can just like, okay, set them in the paint, and I can do my best to alter shots and stuff like that.
Yeah, it really seems like you focused and kind of made your mark on the defensive side, and then whatever happens offensively happens, but you're going to come in and you're going to affect the game defensively and with your rebounding ability.
Absolutely, yeah. And you mentioned rebound. I think I've been one of the tallest players so far on the team, and even playing against other people. I think offensive rebounding coach always on the bench like, hey guys, we need rebound, 3, 4, 5, go to the glass and stuff like that. So that's something I love doing, just like be able to like get those offensive rebound and maybe make a play out of it and stuff like that. And I mean, we have like some amazing shooters on the team, Cam, Chuck, all those guys. So just like finding those guys easily, knowing that they're gonna be, left wide open when someone get the offensive rebound. So for me, like, I'm very much selfless, just like find those guys open and help them knock shots down.
You mentioned that you're always trying to improve your game and looking for areas to improve. What are some of the areas you're working on right now on improving?
Right now, definitely the 3 ball. So far, I'm 0 for 2. I ain't gonna lie, I'm 0 for 2, but I'm definitely trying to, let it fly. Like I said, again, the coaches and the team don't like look at you a certain way when you take a shot. They're always like, okay, next one, you know what I mean? So I've put like a ton of work this summer with my coach this summer, Coach Manny. Shout out Coach Manny. Not Coach Manny from the Fires, Coach Manny from Dawson.
There we go.
GCC. But anyways, yeah, definitely like improving my 3 ball has been something I've definitely tried to prioritize. Even my post scoring moves with Paul. Sometime after practice, before practice, we get in here and like try to get some post workout and stuff like that. Yeah.
And finally, whenever I watch you practice or watch you play, you always seem to have a smile on your face, and you seem to be enjoying what you're doing anytime you're on the court. What is it about basketball that brings you joy?
I think for me, just like knowing that I get a chance to play basketball, and for me, that my biggest reason to play for my family and for Christ. I think I get to just like be that light for everyone else and stuff like that. No matter what's going on in everyone's life, like basketball's always been like a chance for me to play freely. You said I always have a smile. I don't know about it always, but I try. Coach a couple times called me like, yo, Charles, smile a little bit. I'm like, I'm gonna try, Coach. But I think smile just like, it's kind of contagious. Like one person smile and then the other person just like see you smile. It's like, okay, why is you smiling for? It's just, that little domino effect. So I don't know. I just love to embrace that and, make it someone's day.
All right, Charles. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
That's going to do it for this episode of the Coach's Corner. Fire are back in action this Friday as they travel to Little Rock to take on the Lightning. That game will tip off at 7 p.m. from Hall High School in Little Rock, Arkansas. The Fire will then come home to play the San Antonio Clutch on Sunday evening. That game will tip off at 6 p.m. You can get tickets to that game at PottawatomiFire.com/tickets. You can also call the Fire Lake Arena box office, and of course you can catch both games on TBL TV and on KGFF FF Radio. Don't forget to follow The Fire on social media. You can find The Fire on Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You can also find us online at PotawatomiFire.com. That's going to do it for us today. For Fire big man Charles Lambton and head coach Mark Danoff, I'm Chris Cox, and I'll talk to you next time right here on the Potawatomi Fire Broadcast Network.